listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana, founders of the Life Coach Method. Each one of our uplifting and deep dive episodes is geared to help you tackle the things that hold you back from.
Hey everybody, Dr. Cali Estes, and welcome to another amazing episode of Unpause Your Life. I am so excited for my guest today. She's got some entertainment connections and a really badass project she's working on that I'm totally stoked about. Please meet my guest, Diane Weaver.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Callie. I'm super excited to be on your podcast. I love the themes of your podcast. I love what you do, and I just admire and respect you so much in your field. And I'm happy to be here talking about baryons and wellness and getting unstuck and all of those great things.
Awesome. Well, you're one of my favorite humans. I absolutely adore you because you're always working on something to better humanity, which is so rare because everyone is about what can I get? What can I have? And every time I talk to you, you're like, ooh, I'm working on this project that's going to benefit somebody. So it's so cool. So tell us a little bit about what you're working on and who you are and what it was like, being you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, every great origin story starts at the beginning, and I love to share with people that I grew up working on the family farm and getting chased by paparazzi. So my
Wait
parents
a
were the
minute. You're
yeah.
not chased by an ostrich, you're chased by paparazzi. Like that is so cool. It's cool and annoying, but good. Tell me more
Yes,
about it.
definitely. Yeah, it was just enough to dissuade me from that life. And the extremely difficult or challenging, working on the farm was just enough to dissuade me from that life as well. So I chose my own path. But my parents are the quintessential like country mouse, city mouse. My mom is from southeastern Idaho. My dad was from a bi-coastal entertainment family. This is my grandfather's Emmy back here. He was a television pioneer and innovator, and just really inspired a whole family and legacy of innovators and great thinkers and everything. So one of the tenets that my grandfather held really close was this idea that every piece of new technology or communications should be used to benefit humanity. And I think that this is really what like struck me a chord in me, at an early age. And I, coming from a really diverse background of, from class and have and have not, background, I also was able to recognize, the human condition and what makes us universal. Like, what kinds of things do we have in common when we seemingly on paper have nothing in common? And these are things like what brings us happiness, what brings us joy in life, how do we act or react under pressure and challenge and all of those things, sadness, like really recognizing that no matter who you are and what station of life, we all experience all of the human emotions. It's been incredible. So that really like put me on this path of figuring out my own way. I spent a career in, of course, technology because it's fascinating and I love I'm a big geek. I love technology. And and I love working on solving problems just like you said that really benefit humanity. So one of the common like been all over the place, but one of those common threads is education technology, so ed tech, and just universally observing and impacting the systems across our human development from pre-K to grade. So right now, I'm a co-founder and COO of a company called Baryons. So I like to tell people, keep calm and bury on because it sounds like
That's
carry
great.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a physics term actually. So when you get into quantum physics, you start to really understand the mind-body connection and our physiology a lot differently. And so we wanted to adopt, a name that kind of keyed into that this is something different. This is on a different level. So we're all familiar with atomic habits. What happens when we start to dig into subatomic habits? So we've built this really great tech with an amazing team. They're super smart, and they've been working with AI for decades through every, flavor of AI that has been out there. So when my last venture ended, we were acquired, and it was fantastic and successful, and it was time for me to find my next thing. I reached out to my team now. Mike Ruska is our CEO, and I said, hey, I like ChatGPT had just come out, and people were coming up to me and asking me to work with them, on their projects, but they were like wraparounds or widgets. And I was like, I don't want to put the yellow pages online. We already did that with the internet. I'm here to really do something that changes the trajectory of humanity. So I reached out to Mike Ruska and I said, hey, of all the technologists I know, I bet you're thinking about this along the same lines that I am. And sure enough, he was. He introduced me to his tech team, and then here we are with Baryons. So what we've built is a voice first experience. You call it on your cell phone, and you call your Baryon. And if you are calling it, if you go to baryons.com and you sign up for your own Baryon, then you're going to receive a flourishing partner. And by that, I mean that we've trained, it's an orchestrator and multiple AIs, multiple agents. And we've trained all of it on positive, on PERMA, if you're familiar with PERMA. That's positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. And the PERMA science it stems from the military, actually. And what happens is we know there's so much research about this that we know, when people can identify areas of their life that align with the PERMA model, then they feel fulfilled. They feel that like I have what I need to be successful in this moment. I have confidence or trust that, I'll be ready for the next moment that life throws at me. So the PERMA model is actually really powerful, used a lot in cognitive behavioral therapy as well. And then also, Harvard has this body of work that they're continuously contributing to called the Human Flourishing Index. And so this is why we say when you get your baryons, it's a flourishing partner. It's going to help you flourish. So if you have a conversation with your LLM, with your ChatGPT or your Claude, chances are you're going to want to talk to it for hours and hours, and it will take you down this like rabbit hole of echo chamber. and it's easy to realize that you've spent your whole day like that. When you call your baryon, it helps you identify very quickly where you are stuck, talk through why you think you're stuck, give you some ideas on what you might be able to do about it, and then encourage you to seek out other humans in your life and to help you kind of solve your problems through human connection. So we like to say that we're the first AI that's been designed to get you off of AI and back into the real world, connecting with other humans.
So I've got questions, of course. So
Yeah,
do
that was
you
a
think,
long,
no,
sorry.
this is good. This is good. You were on such a roll. I didn't need to ask anything. Do you think this is going to replace therapists? Because that's what people are going to ask me. Is this designed to replace a therapist, replace a coach or something like that? Or is this in conjunction with what you're doing?
This is such a great question. And we do hear this a lot, especially from therapists and coaches. And so this is not replacing your human network of support. This is supplementing. So this is giving you just in time, access to someone who, an AI that is literally a phone number away, a phone call away, so that you can talk through what you're experiencing in that moment and get that support and even help prepare you for when you do have your next session with your therapist or your next session with your coach or your mentor. One of our favorite models is when professional coaches and mentors actually take baryons with them into a company. So let's say, and this is like the second model. So you have your one-on-one baryon for you personally that you can get today at baryons.com. And then there's a version of baryons for enterprise businesses. And oftentimes, executive coaches, they'll be hired into a business. They'll be hired to coach the CEO or the C-suite, but they don't have the bandwidth. And usually the company doesn't have the resources for that executive coach to spend time with every single employee. So the executive coach can bring baryons in to be that touch point to democratize this executive coaching experience across every single employee, which is tremendous benefit. And then the human interactions kind of bookend the daily interactions with the AI,
I
which
love
which is
this.
a really powerful model.
I love this for my industry, specifically for addiction and mental health, because our clients text us non-stop. I'm having a feeling, I'm having a day, I need to do this, I need to do that. So it's great to have that assistant, if you will. Baryon is our assistant that can pick up that immediate need, handle the issue, and then we can be in touch with the baryon and also the client and say, I saw you were feeling this way. I noticed this was going on. Let's get on a call. Let's talk about it. How are you feeling today? I love that because it's going to take the stress off of what we do so that our sessions are more powerful when we actually talk to them and they say, oh, no, I had a feeling. I talked to my baryon and it wasn't really, that important. It's okay. And they learn something that they don't need me to fix them, that they can handle something on their own. So this is a really awesome tool and I'm really excited in my space for it.
That is so great to hear. And you touch on that's exactly the experience that we hope that people are getting out of this. What we're hearing from the folks who are using their baryon is that it's a tremendous confidence builder. What you just described there, that's an experience that builds tremendous confidence in that I can find the resources in the moment that I need to be successful and to tide me over until I can speak with you, with my expert,
Yeah.
and get another level or layer, of support and help. And I think that that's exactly the kind of pairing of artificial intelligence and human intelligence that we are starting to see across some spaces. And 5 years from now, we're going to see it across every single space and aspect of our lives.
Well, the biggest thing in my space that we hear is I couldn't reach my sponsor, I couldn't reach my coach, I couldn't reach my therapist, so I got high. Well, now you have absolutely no excuse of why you got high. 'Cause it's like, well, you have this thing, you're attached to this 24/7. All you have to do is plug in, because you called your
Yeah.
drug dealer on here. You can call your baryon on here. So for me, I love it in my space because it removes that excuse. I couldn't reach another human and you're all responsible now for my bad behavior. So now it puts the ownership on the client to do the right thing, to get the help. And then I
Yeah.
can follow up with, well, why didn't you call your baryon? It's 24/7. It's right there. What was the problem? Well, your finger's broken? No, you could have called. So it keeps that accountability on the client, which should then, and I want to do a white paper on this when you're ready. I want to see if we start to see a success rate of people staying sober, having that immediate gratification and not waiting for the human to answer the phone. or having to get in their car and go to a meeting or hop on a meeting or calling a friend and going, well, they're shopping at TJ Maxx. They don't have time for me. Now we have something that's going to be there to interrupt that pattern of behavior, whatever it
Right.
is, any
Yeah.
addiction. So I'm excited to see what that looks like on paper.
Oh my gosh. Well, me too. I mean, especially with this specific use case, because we have therapists who are, investors and also on our board of advisors and who have reviewed the product and given us product feedback on Baryons to make sure that we have a certain level of you know, of number one, to make sure that we have the right guardrails in place, but also that we have, the science-backed and research-based, direction built into Baryons that is really necessary for people in these moments of need. And we know that whenever we get stuck professionally in our lives, etc., the root cause is typically something personal, something that is getting us stuck or a loop that we're kind of stuck in. And so what you just talked about, just kind of breaking that cycle, oftentimes it just begins with taking a beat in that moment, pausing, and then doing a different action. And whether that's calling your baryon or going and doing something different, it's going to be a positive thing. Now, because we're not a therapy platform, it's not specifically a therapy platform.
That's why I
you
like
know,
it. Let me stop you
it's
right there.
just
That's why
that
I
much.
like
Yeah.
it because all these therapy platforms and all these coaching platforms, they're not, and I create coaching content and therapy content for a living. I have 45 classes at the Academy. Everybody knows what I do. These apps that we have in our space are subpar to what
Mhm.
we should have. That's why I'm excited for this because it's multi-use. It's
Yes.
not just addiction, it's not just therapy, it's literally everything. So
It's
if my
whole person.
yeah, if
Yeah.
my 17-year-old niece just auditioned for the play and she's feeling like, "Oh my God, what if I don't get it?" Call your Barry.
Yeah.
It's something that you have available for literally everybody. It's not pigeonholed to a certain thing. So I like that. And I work
Yeah.
with executives, I work with celebrities, I have clients across the board. I have clients that have some money and I have clients that are uber wealthy, and this is going to fit everybody. It's not pigeonholed into, well, this is specific for that or for this. And
Mhm.
that's why I like it because nothing, at least that I've come across, has been done like this.
Right. And this is the power of AI and that we are LLM agnostic. So LLM is a large language model. It's like your ChatGPT, your Claude, your Copilot, Gemini. I mean, like all the big tech companies have their own. And we are agnostic. So what this means is that this is why we are able to be generalized for a broader audience and to provide, high quality experiences in those conversations. There are so many hypotheses that we have that we want to test out, and we are just getting started, and working with more and more people across industries is going to help us get there. I love that you mentioned earlier a white paper. We'd love to do that research with you. We have a great research partner also at Penn State University, and we're doing
My
several.
alma
Yes. Oh my gosh. Of course of course they
mater.
are. This is
I
like
don't
how
know
the
if you can see
universe
that. I
works,
have to
right?
move. See if it'll move with me. There it is.
Woo! Oh, that's so great. I'm thrilled, and I'm also not surprised because this is just like how the universe works. But so we're doing a bunch of research with them. We're doing research with our own, customers and different companies that are coming on board with that enterprise aspect of it. But yeah, there's so much to test, so much to learn, so much more to understand about human behavior and specifically with addiction recovery and all of that, because we are all affected by that, either personally or someone we love or know, and it's just a really powerful thing.
It is. And I'm so glad you're doing this. I want to ask you one more question because we're getting to the end of the show. Tell us a fun fact about you that made you go this direction, having the background that you do and the family that you do and all the entertainment. What made you want to go tech and not be an actress or be a star or do those things?
That is a great question. So, I mean, it's partly a combination of the whole paparazzi thing and growing up, we had family members where we had to have code names for them when we were out in public, and you're just always on high alert and things like that. There's a freedom and anonymity. And then you do things like go on your friends' podcasts and more people get to know you. So I think growing up, it was kind of that was the logic and the reasoning. Now, however, the world has changed a lot, and entertainment has changed a lot. And part of like our social media and content creation and everything has really normalized this sharing yourself and your persona and your life publicly has become more and more normalized. There's still risks, there's still weirdness that happens. But like now it's not as big of a deal because like so many people are in the spotlight. So, there's that, but then there's also just the simple fact that I'm an introvert. And when my dad brought home a Commodore 64 in the 1980s, I was hooked. And in fact, even before that, it was the word processor that, replaced our typewriter, and just this whole idea of being a creator, not a consumer, has always, driven me. And I think that is very much in line with the entertainment industry, being a creator and not a consumer. And the technology is what enables us to spread these incredible ideas and like life-changing stories just broadly. I grew up writing a lot, and one of my early tech jobs was creating these online programs for colleges and universities, and I wrote direct mail or junk mail. And I had a readership of 1 million people per month.
Oh,
And
wow.
I
That's
know,
really cool.
I know, right? And I kind of joked about how, like, even if I was a well-renowned published author, I probably wouldn't have a readership of that high, that consistently and that high. Of course, I wasn't like, I was doing a lot of storytelling and I was, really tapping into, highlighting other people's lives through that, but it just I think the reach and the impact and the ability to be a creator and be true to my introverted self is just technology has been a great fit for all of that.
That's awesome. It's funny because I was on before TikTok and Instagram blew up. I was on CNN and KTLA and all these TVs. If all the clips I'm on my thing, and I went on someone's podcast and I just did this little tiny 15-second clip on narcissism. Didn't even think about it. The damn thing went
Yeah.
viral on someone else's TikTok. They stole it from the podcast, put it somewhere, and I'm in Elizabethtown visiting my sister in a thrift store, no makeup, hair in a ponytail. I look awful. And this girl walks up to me and she goes, "Are you the girl on TikTok?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Didn't even know. She's like, "You're the girl on TikTok. You're her." And it's a 16.9 million views. And I'm like, "Oh,
Holy shit.
all this stuff I've done and I'm on TikTok. I'm now known as the girl on TikTok." And I'm like, "Really?" But it's that's the power of tech and that's the power of social media. And she's like, "Oh my God, I gotta follow you. It's so amazing." And I'm like, "This is what I get. All the work I've done, that is what I've got." But yeah, so it was kind of cool because it was like someone I didn't know, and had tech not been around, she wouldn't have seen CNN or TikTok.
Right.
She was too young for it. So I
Yes.
have to
No, I think
commend you.
it's incredible and it's powerful and it's absurd and it's random and all of those things are just so human. And I love that happened to you and you had that experience. I mean, I think that is just right in line with where we are in 2026, right?
It is, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I want to thank you for the work you're doing and coming on my podcast today. So, how do people find you?
Callie.
Give us the website. How do they reach you? How do they reach your product? We'll put it all up in the show notes, but give us a shout out.
Absolutely. So go to baryons.com. That's baryons.com. And there you can click on the Start Now button. There's a free version and then there's a paid version. It's just $20 a month. And you can just get going right away. And then if you want to bring Baryons into your company, you just send an email to sales@baryons.com. If you want to reach out to me personally, LinkedIn is just a great place for us to connect, of course. And so Diane Weaver on LinkedIn.
Awesome. And thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You are listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes. My guest today was Diane Weaver, and I will see you soon for a new episode.
Thank you for listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana. Head over to www.thelifecoachmethod.com to learn more about coaching yourself and how to become a master coach.